Good morning and welcome to the Franchise Tag Podcast with me, your host, Freddie Hall. Very lonely this week on the preview show. All my guys are busy. All my guys are out and about doing their day-to-day things, but I'm sure they'll be sitting down tonight watching the NFL just like you guys will be. Lots to come in this preview show. We're going to go through all the games and see who I think is going to be winning the games. We're back to pretty much how it was at the start of this podcast with just me talking about the NFL. So we're going to go ahead and do the preview show today. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Also, you can find our affiliate Star Sports Bet on our social media for all your NFL betting needs this year. They've got great odds. They've got NFL gameplay on there. Go check them out. They're our affiliate. Use the code FTAG if you sign up for them to make sure they know that we sent you there. But let's go through the games. It's going to be a heck of a week. Week 1 and 2 were fantastic. Yeah, injuries are starting to creep into the NFL now, unfortunately. But that's just how it is. It's how it goes. It's early morning. I know it's 10:30, but for me, with my work, it's early morning for me, and I'll be jetting off to work soon. But I'll be finished at 6, ready to go and watch the game straight away. It's going to be a heck of a weekend for the NFL. We already had the Panthers beating the Texans 24-9 on the Thursday night game. But let's go through the games that are going to be happening this weekend and what I think is going to be the results here. So we got the 6 o'clock games. We've got the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. That's going to be a tough matchup. That's going to be a really exciting game. Tennessee, a team that can really run it down your throat, and Colts have a very, very good front seven. The Colts, shaky to begin with. They are 0-2, unfortunately, but there is signs of strength there. The Titans, though, Derrick Henry came back with a vengeance last week where he needed to win that game, and they put the ball in Derrick Henry's hands, and he ran riot. I can see the Tennessee Titans doing the exact same thing. I do worry for the Titans' defense against the Colts wide receivers, even though I was negative on the wide receivers for the Colts a lot of the offseason. They are showing signs of good fortune, and the front seven for the Titans has not been fantastic. So if Jonathan Taylor can get going, that could be interesting for the Colts. But I think Derrick Henry is a hell of a player to have to deal with. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to walk away with the win there. We have the Atlanta Falcons going to the New York Giants, 2 0-2 teams. One of these teams is going to get their first win of the season. And this is a hard game to call. These are 2 not very good teams, unfortunately, this year. I'm going to go with the Giants because of the Falcons' weaker defense. I have not been impressed with the Falcons' defense at all this year, and their offense has not been as amazing as it could have been. Cordell Patterson did get going last week. So, the Giants front seven might have to deal with him and Mike Davis potentially being there. We are yet to see really fireworks from either of these teams, but Saquon Barkley is also a factor for the Giants. He has not had a great start to the season, coming off of the injury last year. He's had a slow start to this season. This could be the game for him against a very weak defense, but he really breaks out. So I'm going to go for the Giants winning at home at that one. We have the LA Chargers going up at the Kansas City Chiefs, a divisional rivalry there. I'd love to go with the Chargers here. I'm impressed with the Chargers. I think they've got something really good going on here. And I think if they're going to sneak their way into the playoffs, this is where they have to do these games. They have been winning. They are going to this year have to win some of them 50-50 games. We've talked about this on the show before, about these tiers of teams. Chargers on that cusp of when they play them 50-50 teams, beating them. It's now that time, I think, for them to beat them bigger teams, which Kansas City is. Like, even though the Chiefs are winning their division, they are favorites to win the division. So I would love for the Chargers to go and win here, but I feel like the Chiefs could be it. My only concern is Chiefs' running game is not been strong. So if the Chargers front seven can deal with the running game, it's whether people like Derwin James, whether the cornerbacks there can really deal with the perimeter players like Travis Kelce, with the Tyreek Hills of the world, and we'll have to see with that. But I think the Chiefs walk away with the win there. We've got my Pittsburgh Steelers having the Cincinnati Bengals come to Heinz Field, another divisional rivalry there. In the preseason shows, I was very much split the Steelers. Though my team, I thought we would lose to the Browns twice, we'd lose to the Ravens twice, and it could be a split between the Bengals here. I think the Bengals will lose to the Steelers at home. I think we may go to the Bengals later on in the season and lose there. TJ Watt not being in the game is going to be a massive factor. Big Ben's a little bit knocked up. In fact, no, I'm going to go with the Bengals. I hate to do this. I've changed, completely taken a U-turn on my mind there. I hope you're enjoying a cup of tea or a cup of coffee this morning while you're watching as well, or maybe a bowl of cereal. I'm going to take a U-turn. Yeah, I don't believe in myself now, but I think that TJ Watt, Big Ben's got a minor injury. The Bengals just maybe too good to not walk away with a win here when we haven't got our elite players at the highest level that they can be. Not that Big Ben's that elite anymore, but TJ Watt is certainly one of the most elite pass rushers in the NFL. So I actually am going to do a U-turn. I think the Bengals are going to beat us at Heinz Field. Unfortunate, and then it would be the Bengals 2-1 and us 1-2. But that's just how it goes. You lose these players sometimes, and there's such an impact on the team that it can make the difference. There's a lot of other injuries that are leading into the game as well. Devin Bush, Joe Hayden, I know that as well. So we're going to have to see come game time decision what happens with some of them players. Chicago Bears going to the Cleveland Browns. The Bears with Justin Fields starting from what I believe week 3. I said it'd take 3 weeks and Justin Fields would start, and it's happened. I mean, call me Mystic Mac. I don't know what you want. What more you want from me here? Admittedly, it is because Andy Dalton is injured. It's not because he's not been playing well. The Bears defense, incredible, but the Browns defense also very, very good. I think the Browns have got more going on. Jarvis Landry, unfortunately, is out. Odell Beckham Jr. is set to be starting. I think this may come down to the run game for both teams, whether David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen can, well, not Tariq Cohen, but David Montgomery can do well for the Bears, and vice versa with Nick Chubb for the Browns. It's going to come down to the run game. Really fine margin, I think, there. I think Cleveland just takes it just because I think I like their talent a bit more. Justin Fields, it also is his first game. He could maybe throw 1 or 2 picks as well if he's feeling the pressure from Myles Garrett and that defensive line. The Ravens go to the Detroit Lions. The Ravens are winning this game. No two ways about it. They've not looked great, admittedly, to begin with, but they've got the power players. They've got the better players. I think it could be a closer game than maybe we think. But the Ravens are slowly figuring it out, I think, week by week. And also just come off the win of the Chiefs, and that could really hype them up to be pushing to the next level for this year, even though it has been a slow start. The New Orleans Saints going to the New England Patriots, both 1-1. The Saints, I don't know what we have with the Saints just yet. We have 1 week, this amazing offense. Defense is looking really good. Next week's not looking so great. The Patriots, again, what have we got with them? A good defense. Mac Jones has seemed to fare reasonably well. They've got some players there. I'm going to go Patriots here because of the Bill Belichick factor, even though Sean Payton is a fantastic coach for the New Orleans Saints as well. I do think that it's going to come down to that. I think it's going to come down to the scope, the coaching and the scheming. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that matchup between them guys there. The Arizona Cardinals at the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a Cardinals win for me. They're 2-0. They're going to go 3-0. I don't know whether this means they top the division. I think it means it's going to be close unless the Rams and the 49ers win. We're going to have to see about that one as well. Jags off to a very bad start. A very bad start indeed. 0-2. Trevor Lawrence not looking like the prodigal son that he should do. I like the Cardinals here a lot. Kyler Murray could have a real field day here. He's gone from strength to strength week on week, which has been great for me within my fantasy team because I've had him starting and he's had a great first 2 weeks. I think this continues. The Cardinals then have a stretch of really tough games and against tough defenses. This could be a big, easy win for them before they go into a bit of a slump. That's Andrew's belief, who's on the podcast. I still think it's going to be 50-50 with the rest of the games they have coming up, but they walk away from Jacksonville with a win here. The Washington football team at the Buffalo Bills. I think this is a quarterback thing. Defenses are both good. The Bills defense really shone against the Dolphins last week and really showed what they're about. But that Washington defense is very real as well. However, when you play it down to it, it's Taylor Heinecke versus Josh Allen. I believe in Josh Allen more than Taylor Heinecke. Not that I don't think they've done well. The Washington football team, their offense has got some very dynamic players like Logan Thomas, Terry McLaurin. But the Bills have got more. They've just got more going on for them. They've got better wide receivers on the perimeter. I think their defense is equally matched here, and it could be a very defensive game. Could be low scoring, definitely. I'm going to go as far as say it is going to be low scoring. Probably going to be proved wrong, but we'll have to see. With these things, are going to take the Bills there for them to go 2-1 in the division. The New York Jets going to the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos winning this. Really hoping Tim Patrick has a huge day. Got him hopefully starting in the fantasy lineup as well. This is just a case of better team, better quarterback. I know Zach Wilson is a rookie and Teddy Bridgewater is not exactly lighting the world on fire, but he's competent. And the Broncos team looks really competent. Not quite a complete defense, but we've seen their secondary really shine. Patrick Surtain with an interception last week. It could be the same here. Zach Wilson had 4 interceptions last game. I think he could be getting 2 in this game as well, unless he calms down in his gunslinging stuff. I did think the 2 of his interceptions last week were not particularly his fault, though that had some pushback on this podcast. I think the Broncos are just a way better team here. The Dolphins at the Raiders. 2 weeks ago, I just said Dolphins would have ran over the Raiders here, but the 2-0 Raiders, I talked about it on the show in the week, are really impressing me. Tua is now on IR, won't play for 3 games. They've got Jacoby Brissett starting at Dolphins. I don't like that. Though Jacoby Brissett's a fine quarterback, I think the Raiders have really come up with a hot start here. They're really looking good. Derek Carr looks in control. The offense is looking like it's clicking. Hopefully Josh Jacobs returns this week. I don't recall if he is back or not. But this Raiders defense is looking very good as well. And I really complimented them big time in the midweek show, which you can go and catch on our social media or on YouTube as well, or on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The Raiders are a lot better than I thought they were going to be. I had them only win 4 games all year. Could still only win 4 games all year. You never know. But I'm thinking this is going to be a win for them. Without Tua, don't think Jacoby Brissett is the answer here. It's going to be a Raiders win. They go 3-0 in their division, which would have shocked everyone at the start of the year. The Seattle Seahawks at the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings off to a slow start, 0-2. Only a missed field goal in there for them to be 0-2 rather than 1-1. The Seahawks at 1-1. No Dalvin Cook. Well, potentially game time decision or limited reps on the day for the Vikings. So it'll be Alexander Mattison, a very fine RB2. Don't get me wrong. But the Seattle Seahawks team, I think, have just got a bit of a better team here. Again, this may come down to defense. I think it may come to lack of defense for both teams. I could see some big plays over the top from Justin Jefferson, from Tyler Lockett. Again, what a start he's had to the year. 3 touchdowns and I think 200 plus yards. I think even maybe 300 I read this morning. What a start for both teams with high clicking offenses, but they've got the Chris Carson factor there, the Seahawks. Though Alexander Mattison is a fine running back, I think the Seahawks just edged this one, beating the Minnesota Vikings. 0-3 for the Vikings, a bit of a poor start. Not what we'd like to see for the Minnesota team, but this is the reality of football. These things happen. The Buccaneers going to the LA Rams. I read this morning, this is the first time in Brady's career in the NFL that he's played in LA, in his hometown, which is remarkable, really, isn't it? I mean, the guy's had a career of over 2 decades. And he's only just playing in LA. Wow, what a crazy realization to have. Both 2-0 teams. Antonio Brown's not going to be in the game. The Rams have a really hot defense. And the Buccaneers defense is not looking as strong as they did at the back end of last year. They had their problems in the season last year as well. I just think because of recency bias, we think that their defense is all elite, which it was in that playoff run and the Super Bowl win, obviously. But these things take time to click, though. They've got all their guys back. There is that, getting back into gameplay technique and getting into that attrition again. I'm going to go for the Rams here. I think the Rams hand Brady his first loss of the year. If people thought that they were going to go unbeaten this year, then I'm sorry. That's not going to happen at all. If it weren't the Rams, it was going to be one team. I think it would be the Rams. Matt Stafford's looked really good. Even when he's looked bad, he's looked good. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods really doing the job for the Rams. And, AD on that line is going to cause havoc. Though Bucs have a really great O-line, I think this might be a little bit too much for the Bucs to deal with. The Green Bay Packers at San Francisco 49ers. So Adam and Ash are not here today. Probably good thing they aren't here, because as I've thought for the last few years and been proven right, The 49ers have the Green Bay Packers number, and they've got it at home. They're 2-0 already to begin with. They've looked decent. The defense looks good. The Packers obviously had that embarrassment of week one, looked a lot better in their second game and showed more of what the Green Bay Packers are all about. But the 49ers have had their number. They had their number in the playoffs. They've had a number in season. They will dominate that offensive line for the Packers. And I don't think the Packers defense is doing much good either. Trey Sermon, who has not featured at all yet this year, the rookie running back for the 49ers, it looks like he's going to be starting and potentially being the number one running back for the game. Going to be very, very interesting to see how he does and how he proves himself week one. We might actually get to see Brandon Ayuk, Trey Sermon and Brandon Ayuk, two players that we have not seen for the 49ers do anything yet. This could be a game that they strike out in. I don't think Ayuk will. I think there's something a bit more in deep going on with that and Ayuk at the 49ers. But Trey Sermon, if he starts, this could be really good fun. Maybe see a bit of Trey Lance action as well against the Packers. And the last game of the week, the Monday night game. Well, what quarter past one into Sunday night, into Monday. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. Big game for the NFC East, both 1-1. These are the games that are going to really show which team's going to win this division. The Eagles, though impressive, a lot more impressive than people thought they were ever going to be, I don't think they walk away here with a win here in Dallas. I think the Dallas offense is just a bit too high-powered. I think I prefer Dak over Jalen Hurts here. The Cowboys have impressed me more than I would like to admit. Really, they haven't been that bad. It's a split hairs with this one. The Eagles could go into Dallas and really turn up. I'm going to get the Cowboys just because the home advantage edge. I prefer Dak. Yeah, I'm going to go to Dallas Cowboys there. Lots going to happen this weekend. Lots of fun games, lots of divisional rivalries, lots of 2-0 teams could go 3-0. A few 0 teams could go 0-3 as well. It's starting to heat up. The NFL is back. Grab your mates over, get the beers in, get the snacks in, watch the NFL together. I'll be watching tonight with my Chinese, couple of beers and my partner. Cannot wait to finish work, get the franchise tag jumper on, watch the Steelers beat the Bengals, hopefully, and then we'll roll on to week 4. Thank you for watching. Apologies that it is only me today. The guys will be returning next week. Such is life. So we'll be back next week with our main show, the Fantasy Football Show, which I hope you're all enjoying. I hope you're getting to know all our names and all our idiosyncrasies with our Fantasy Football League now, because it is a lot of fun. Hopefully there's another win in the bag for me this week in fantasy football. Enjoy yourselves. Keep an eye on them injuries for fantasy football as well, because there is a lot that seems to be knocking around this week. You don't want to be starting anyone who's not going to play. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the NFL. We'll see you all very soon. Have a great